Hi, this video is about your last 30 days and the preparation processes and strategies to follow in the last 30 days for the quantitative aptitude and data interpretation section of CAT 2011. While trying to analyze or while trying to think about what you need to do in the last 30 days to ensure that you reach your potential and maybe even expand your potential, which is possible in a 30-day framework, there are a few things to keep in mind. One, the online CAT in its version which is expected in 2011 or the versions which were there in 2010, 2009, one thing which was very clear with respect to the structure of the paper was that the balance of the portions had been, the skew of the portion towards block 1, 5 and 6 which was there pre-2008 was totally removed from 2009. So what I mean to say is that if you look at the CAT 2008 or CAT 2007 or even go back to the last 10 years of CAT papers in the offline version, qualifying scores in the quant section or even the DI section would be somewhere in the range of 35 to 40% out of 100% marks in that section. And in quant specifically, block 1 which is number systems and progressions, block 5 which is functions, inequalities, logs and quadratics, block 6 which is permutation, combination, probability. These three blocks would account for around 70 to 80% of your questions, of your marks. So even if you did half of those correctly, you would still get through the paper. In the online CAT, what has happened is your score requirement has gone up to around 60%, and the balance of the paper has gone between all the 6 blocks. So the skew is maximum if you get 25% question in a block. In some other block you might get 10%. So the skew has got reduced drastically. So these two things you need to keep in mind. So obviously the message is that your preparation has to be balanced, which means that for every chapter and every area you should know the first 100 questions that you need to know in that area. So that is uncompromisable. So what I mean to say is that every chapter, let's say you talk about a chapter like number systems, somebody who does not know it at all, and you want to train him or you want him to prepare. So what are the first 100 questions he or she would see in number systems? So that constitutes your first 100 questions for number systems. So that aspect has to be done at every chapter. And if you have not done it till now, then maybe you need to ensure that you do it over the next 15 days. Maybe you are halfway through in it, so you need to ensure that in the next 15 days. The second factor is that the depth. You need to define the areas, at least 3 areas out of 6. So the division of quants that I suggest typically is block 1, which I said was number systems progression. Block 2 and 3 are the chapters of averages, allocations, percentage, ratio, proportion, time and work, time, speed, distance. Block 4 is geometry and mensuration. Block 5 is functions, inequalities, logs and quadratics. This is how I've defined in my books. And block 6 is permutation, combination, probability and maybe set theory. So you need to define at least 3 of these areas where your depth is going to be. So what you need to do is in your past preparation, you need to look back and take an audit in which of these areas you have gone deeper than the first 100 questions, and there the focus lies that those are going to be the key areas which will actually take you, pole vault you into the next level. So if you have, you have to have at least 3 areas. My suggested areas are block 1, 5 and 6 because they are traditional favorites, and maybe the chapter of time, speed, distance. So at least in these 7, 8 chapters, you need to ensure that you create your depth. And the second objective after that, once your depth is there in these chapters, the second objective after that, or the second task for you in the last 30 days leading up to the CAT, is that you revise every question that you have done in the past. Ideally, if you are in an ideal space of preparation, you will not be solving any new questions in the last month, and you will be reviewing and revising every question that you have done in the past. Because what happens is that when you take the exam, there are a lot of times where you get stuck inside a question which you have already solved. but because in that time frame, in that pressure situation, you are not able to remember what to do or what you did, the end result is that you are not able to get things which you even solved in your preparation process. So to avoid this error happening in your test taking, what you need to focus on in your prep process or the last 30 days is that you revise every question. And when I say revise, I don't mean to say that you solve it again. What I mean to say is that maybe you just read the question and try to flowchart the question, that are you able to see the solution to the question or not. This would become your most critical aspect of your preparation process in the last 30 days, and this is sure or guaranteed to give you a jump in scores as you move from this point. A similar process needs to be followed on data interpretation. Look at an audit of how much you have done, how many questions you have done. Typically from every question type, let's say data interpretation based on percentages, let's say you have solved around 100 sets, 150 sets, that's more than enough. You need to review those sets again, and rather than solving new sets and going after things randomly, make sure that whatever you have done, you get value for it inside the test. So these are 2-3 critical aspects of what I want to tell you. Maybe if you feel in your audit of your current skills that you are weak at some portions, certain portions, you can either take a call of how long you think that portion will take you to understand it. If you think that you can do it within 30 days, you do it. Otherwise, you take a call of leaving it. But do not forget to revise all this stuff that you have done till now. So that would be my main message. Take a lot of tests, of course. And the test, make sure that you take good quality balanced tests. There's no point giving very difficult tests and which have got no correlation with what the CAT is going to give you. Thank you.